start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Flag of the United States of America, to the republic which it stands, one nation, God, indivisible, with liberty for all.
All right, thank you everybody for joining us tonight. Counselor Hagstrom, as you can see, is attending remotely. And because we are able to post this meeting in advance, that we have a remote member, John is able to vote tonight. And so we'll be doing a roll call after each vote. And so hopefully I will remember to do that each time. Tony, can you take us through the roll call, please?
Mayor Hurston,
Present?
Counselor Hagstrom,
Present.
Counselor Hendrickson,
Present.
Counselor Quinn,
Present.
Counselor Hein.
Present. Thank you. Next, we have public discussion for anything not listed on the agenda. Please come to the mic, identify your name and yes.
Okay, thank you for having me. Patrick McDonald, 4471 Schultz Road, Rice Lake resident of 46 years. I got a little time in here. I have a question to the council if they can address for me. I would like to know whose responsibility it is to maintain the new memorial that we have on our city proper on Rice Lake and Martin Road. Who's in charge of maintaining that?
Thank you, Patrick.
Yeah.
City staff, are you guys able to answer that for?
Sure. Yeah, so the city is responsible for maintaining that property.
Okay, that's what I assumed. I'm just doing an observation. I did take the time yesterday at Memorial Day to take a visit to the memorial. And a couple of observations. First one is I could not park at the memorial because every parking space out there that was designated for that was full of a car. But there's nobody at the memorial. We were the only ones there, including the sidewalk to the handicapped accessible sidewalk that gets down to the memorial was plugged. So I ended up having to park over in Quick Chip's parking lot, walk across the parking lot to get down there, which I thought was a little unusual, isn't it? Wasn't it supposed to be designated parking spaces for visitors?
Quick Trip, when they were doing their expansion,
Right.
agreed to put in parking spaces for us,
Yes.
not dedicated parking spaces.
They are.
I don't believe.
So there are no parking spaces for the memorial.
Not
No, there isn't.
currently, yeah.
Yeah, and that's all. So now I also purchased 3 pavers last fall for the memorial for the fundraiser. They're not there either. Walked down, I noticed a lot of names I recognized in the memorial on the papers, but for some reason ours weren't there. So apparently, I don't know if there's a pecking order, or priority order on how they're put in or why, but it was very interesting to observe it. So, the memorial doesn't have a very good standing with me right now. So if you don't have parking for it designated, how are people gonna get to it, especially people in wheelchairs? Supposedly veterans that are gonna be visiting us, they can't get there. So, I don't know if there's something the city can address, if they should, that's up to them, but, it didn't bode well for me right now. So, I don't know what I can do about it, other than what's my opinion.
Thank you, Pat McDonald.
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
Pat, for the fundraiser and the pavers.
Yeah.
Was that through the state or was that through the honor guard?
Through the city. I mailed the check to the city and got them, I even got a, email back saying that it was all received and the designs were there and they were supposed to be engraved and installed. And I would have thought they'd have been in by Memorial Day. Remember my father, my uncle. So,
We can certainly understand your concern, and Pat, is it okay that I have city staff be able to go back to their records unless they're able to answer now as to the status?
I guess not specifically to Pat, because yeah, I don't know for sure, but what we have told most people that asked was we would install them in June, once the ground had thawed. And we had time to get out there and do that, so.
Okay,
I just don't change.
Yeah, we just got one.
okay, because they told me they were done, they were great last winter,
No,
so,
we were having them engraved over the winter to
okay,
install in June.
okay.
So I'm sorry if you did not get that message, but that was what we were trying to inform people that
Okay,
ordered in the fall.
good, thank you.
I would also like to comment, Pat, I know you've been quite helpful and,
I'm trying to do my duty.
and we appreciate that. I appreciate that. I went there yesterday as well,
Okay,
in my travels with the other guard.
Yep.
We were busy.
oh, yeah,
Our city staff has been busy, as you know.
so,
So Frost is just double.
Yeah.
Believe you did some work there last night or last fall with the paper.
we did,
I would, our staff is quite busy and I would volunteer to go put in as many of the great stones as we have at the time.
okay,
And I would request your assistance to do that.
if it's after the 1st of July. I have a little something on my plate that's a little more monetary important to me right now than that,
Okay.
that I need to address.
Well, we would like to get them, in, so we can start.
Hopefully after July 1st, I will have all the time I need to.
I agree with you, having the papers in there on Memorial Day would have been a good idea.
Yeah, okay,
I have still yet to purchase mine, so I could wait till celebrate whenever.
very good.
I can guarantee to be here next year. The work you did. Papers came out very well through the winter. A lot of even around, they all look real good. Plants are all up.
Yep,
It's looking good.
it's looking good. Yeah,
We do need to reach out if necessary for volunteers, and I've had honor guard volunteers address that issue. If you want somebody to come pick up garbage, cigarette butts, the lawn is still struggling to come in there. It'll get there.
if the city were to apply it, I would donate some fertilizer for the lawn to help it. To help it perk up, because you're trying to grow a lawn on a piece of carpeting with no fruit in it. And the grass doesn't do well on that type of soil, because the soil up there is. I can't say it in public, but
Yeah,
it is.
there wasn't.
It's fertilizer.
We don't want the keys back.
No, no, there we go.
People come.
Okay. Yeah.
And I will, did you want to say something? Oh, I was just gonna say, I'll echo what Counselor Boyd has said. You've done some volunteer work up there and we appreciate that. And
I enjoy it, and it was fun. So I hope many people will enjoy that area.
I think that they will,
I think they will.
yes.
Yeah.
I just don't want you to lose sight of what was accomplished there. And I know it's frustrating to not have it
Yeah.
exactly the way you envisioned it, but it will happen. And as far as the parking spots, I do remember that they gave us spots. They added them in, but they were not like posted, nobody's monitoring.
The other one that really surprised me, there was not a handicap parking spot there.
for them.
None, despite no markings right for handicap parking, which in the Veterans Memorial, you would think that that would be something that they would have addressed,
Yeah,
you know, to have a handicap accessible spot there.
very good point. I think
It's a point
staff has
concern.
heard it, and I think that if there's something that we could maybe go back to Quick Trip and have an additional conversation, we'll talk about.
Yeah, something on there, because it's not like they don't have places for the employees to park over. Why the employees have to park in them spots. It didn't bode well.
Especially during, I noticed it the other day, not so much yesterday, but earlier in the week.
Yeah.
They were pulling, I know.
So do we,
I don't know if that's a ride share parking or if it's employees.
I think mostly right.
why you share?
think you'll see. 30 in the morning.
It shouldn't be there. That isn't what it was meant to be for.
Right.
Yeah, so it's hard to manage the public.
Heard. Thank you, Kat.
Okay, thank you. Okay,
I'll make sure that whatever brings it out.
okay, thank you.
Sylvia Corby, 4210 West Sheldon Road. I have some questions. What recourse do the citizens of Rice Lake have if they are against something moving in the community that affects safety for children and everyone? Do we have the right ordinances in place that would protect our community from just anyone coming here? Have the ordinances that are in place, are they specific to our city or copied from other cities? And then I thought that the Rice Lake became a city to keep Duluth from annexing us. So do we have ordinances in place to keep our country living as it is, or are we vulnerable to anyone moving in that would change our way of life? We understand that the Rice Lake corridor was where businesses were going. We know that the property Dollar General wants to build on is privately owned. Just because they did not need all the parking spaces, does that mean we have to bend to their wants? The concern from people living in the area was the safety of the children, too much traffic and a bad intersection. I believe those are valid concerns, especially the school children are concerned. I have also said something to say to the council. We were voted in because people trusted that you would look out and listen to them for the good of the community. I was at a meeting where they had the resolution appointing 2 nuisance officers. The mayor was the only one to raise a question as to why. The answer she got was from one of the 2 people named, and that it was faster. There was no other discussion or questions about this from anyone else on the council. Everyone voted for it except the mayor. Isn't it your job as council people to look at these things, question them instead of just giving just 2 people power to do this? I do not know if this is a good or bad vote. All I know is that there was no discussion or questions asked. This is not the first time that council voted on something, even though they heard the objections to it from the residents. Clicks are not a good thing for the good of people who live in the community. I hope, and I'm depending on you, that you council members are independent thinkers and listen to what residents and the mayor or anyone else is saying. Then think carefully about how it affects people rather than voting with the group just to get it over with. We need checks and balances on the council, people that will ask questions about proposed things. Look at the pros and cons before voting on it. The mayor was voted in because people trusted her to keep the way of life here quiet and country-like. Development is a fact, but we must be careful of what kind of development comes in. We can drive a few minutes to clinics, stores, etc. We do not need to become a mini city. The council needs to work with the mayor, asking questions, discussing items to make the best choices for Rice Lake.
Thank you, Sylvia. You asked a lot of questions.
I did.
And I think that they all need a good answer. If it's okay with you, can we have your written copy?
Sure.
And then we can come up with a formal written response that we can share at our next meeting? Sure. Okay, thank you. Anything else? Thank you, everybody. We will move on to the correspondence. We have, St. Louis County Planning Department Ordinance 62 updates. Does the council need me to recap or would they prefer a recap? I say that and I will get Tony to do the recap. So would anybody like Tony to recap these letters?
I read them.
I've read them, but I'd like a little, yeah.
Okay, thank you. We'll do it for
Sure.
all our sake.
So the letter that we received from the county was alerting us to a public hearing that they are holding on Tuesday, June 17th to go over proposed changes to their zoning ordinance. They did include a copy of the zoning ordinance, which is included in your packet as well. I believe the majority of it had to do with number of animal units, kind of just clarifying what their ordinance allowed. Previously, as a township, we were subject to the county zoning ordinances. As a city, we are not. So this is really just kind of a courtesy thing for us because nothing that they determined And their zoning ordinance is anything that we have to have in our zoning ordinance. That's,
Yes. Thank you, Tony.
I did also have our zoning official read through it and she did not have any concerns with.
Next, we have a thank you note from St. Louis County for hosting the county board meeting. The county, as many of you know, they rotate between all the cities and townships within St. Louis County. It gives an opportunity just to make themselves accessible to the entire county, and they drive a distance to make sure that everybody has a chance to meet them personally. So we had our time back on I don't see a date. May 13th. So we are happy to host. Then a letter from FEMA. Tony, I understand that this is not the floodplain ordinance or the floodplain ordinance that we just accepted as a council. Can you talk to this, what this is exactly?
Sure, so, as FEMA was going through their floodplain ordinance, they also want to update their risk mapping, assessments and planning, which they call the risk map. So they are kind of going through and updating all of that information. They are now at the stage where they're sharing a link for that to the city, so anyone can go on there and review. It is still in draft status, so it's not their finalized mapping. But I think they would like people to go on and review and see if there's any issues that you find that we may want to address with them.
Any further questions on the correspondence? If not, we'll move into the consent agenda. We have the May 12th council meeting minutes and executed claims from May 13th to May 27th, totaling $60,847.49. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you. I have a motion. Do I hear a second? I'll support. Any further discussion? All those in favor of accepting the consent agenda as is? Start with the roll call. Counselor Henderson.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Moving into the department reports, we have the monthly utilities update. Shane?
Utility update for May, starting with water. The Duluth Water Infrastructure Surcharge. May billing will be completed on 5/27 to include the water infrastructure surcharge fee. Not received any questions or comments regarding this new fee following the letter of notification. Lead and copper rule vision, next steps, August of last year. The city technical assistance of MSA provided by MDH with our service line material inventory to include both the city owned from the main to the curb stop and private owned from curb stop to the home. We received a grant for the cost of the technical assistant MSA provided assistance. For 2025, we applied for another TA grant in effort to complete our inventory for those still listed as unknowns. The update inventory results must be provided to MDH by October 1st of 2025. We should be hearing about grant proceeds soon to get started on this project. Lead and galvanized service line replacements. Last year during the inventory process, there were 5 private service lines identified as needing replacement. We completed an application this year to get on the drinking water revolving fund program priority list completed an IUP application for this project to be completed in 2026 if funding is available. The intent is to get these replacements completed with no expense to the city resident or the city. The rule states replacements are to be completed by 2037. Because we do not know how long funding will be available, we are working on it now rather than later. Sewer lateral inspections. Scheduling, residents who have received letters are calling and scheduling their inspections. As of this writing, there are 9 inspections scheduled for the first 2 weeks of June. This was prepared by Robin Murphy.
Any questions from the council? I have one quick question. This might be a question for John. This is the, lead and galvanized service line replacement is the first time that I've heard an issue with galvanized pipes. Can you tell me like what is in the galvanized pipes that is comparable to the lead?
Well, there's nothing comparable to lead. But there's concern that the corrosion from galvanized and misidentification between lead and galvanized is bigger issues. The replacing the galvanized tends to break down over time because it's a coating. Coating is off. Some of them are 50 years old. It's nearly down and down.
Thank
It's
you.
very hard to tell the difference. If you look at a pipe that's been in the ground, whether it's like a galvanized pipe. I got an update.
Let me just see. Yeah, might as well come on up, John.
So we're getting down to John Clemency, we're getting down to the end here with the sewer extension and the lift station from last year. Basically the last item now is just getting the seating and erosion control wrapped up. I told the contractor A1 that they can take out the silt fence and biologs because everything is stable. We may have a few issues with some spots that, we're gonna touch up, sodding or seeding, and maybe a little bit of topsoil and rocks pulling over something, so, I'd like to maybe walk that with those that are interested early next week, perhaps. So if anybody wants to go for a walk, make sure everything's going on before we tell them what they do.
Whoever does the walk gets to replace some pavers. What you guys say? Might as well bring a shovel.
Actually, it's more like screwdrivers and primers.
Oh, shovels. Okay.
But in general, it looks like everything is grown in as much as it's going to grow in. Been warm enough now this morning, so I think what you see is what we're gonna get for a while. So we should decide if that's acceptable.
Okay,
I'd be interested in walking that.
okay, we have Counselor Hendrickson and Shane, you have your hand up, I can tell already. And
Yes,
thank you. Anybody else?
As long as we're not doing.
I will stay back since I went on the last tour.
So you know more about it.
I would, I would go on the, and hopefully we're gonna get a little bit of more moisture. That's one of the issues at the Veterans Memorial too. Everything's just so dry. Especially germinating seed. It's kind of odd at the end of May or going in early June to be complaining about not having enough rain. We're just not used to that, but that's the case.
So I'll work with Tony, I think, to find a time that works for everybody, most everybody.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, yeah.
It's a good walk, Bob, you like traffic flow.
All right, next we have the 2025 sewer and water comparison. Counselor Henderson, can you take us through this?
So the month of April, it looks like we had 1,344,936 gallons that we billed to the customers. Fire department used or had 3 fires, and the total water consumed was 1,344,936 gallons. Water billed from Comfort Systems was 1,485,631 gallons, with a difference of 140,695 gallons, roughly a loss of $852. Sewer that we billed the customers was 1,093,328 gallons. Looks like Z1, the zone 1 meter reading for 552,451 gallons, which for that lift station 1 was about 45.1%. 29 meter, or zone 9 meter readings was 539,856 gallons, for a total reading of 1,092,307 gallons, or about 62.7% for that one. Lift station 1 reading was 1,224,400. The station 9 reading was 861,600 gallons, for a total from WLSSB 2,086,000 gallons, with a differential of 992,672 gallons. Monthly rainfall of 2.58 inches. Year to date, we are looking at water that we bill customers at 5,195,901 gallons. Water not accounted for 227,000 gallons. Total water consumes 5,422,901 gallons. We were billed for 6,120,561 gallons, for a differential of 697,660 gallons. Total money differential is $4,225. The sewer that we billed the customers was for 4,324,865 gallons. 1 meter reading was 2,231,743 gallons, or 61.2%. For zone 9 meter readings was 2,252,861 gallons, for a total reading of 4,484,604 gallons, or 73.3% was for the LS9. LS1 reading was 3,648,600. The station 9 reading was 3,074,100 gallons. Total from WLSSD was 6,722,700 gallons. Sewer differential of 2,397,835 gallons. The rainwater total is up to 3.76 inches.
Thank you. Any questions on the sewer water comparisons? Next, we'll move into the council reports. Sir Hickstrom, you want to say this out?
Sure. So for this month, I've just been in the city council meetings. It's in our business, of course. This is a really busy time for us, so I haven't gone on too much outside of that. Went to the pancake breakfast. I think that was last month, which was really fun to see everybody there. That's all I have.
Thank you. Counselor Hickstrom, I'm so sorry. I should have started with you. Would you mind doing your review?
No, not at all. I don't have a great deal, Suzanne, here. Just like Counselor Hendrickson, I attended May 12th meeting. The minutes are listed there under the consent agenda, but I didn't have anything further. Thank you.
No, I don't have anything outside of regular council meetings to report on.
Counselor Craig?
I attended the planning zoning meeting, at the Polish Interstate Commission meeting, and spent a little time, like we mentioned earlier, assessing the the winter damage or the, at both park and the Veterans Memorial. That's going away.
Thank you. Some of the counselors had already mentioned the May 12th meeting. I also went to the DAT meeting on the 15th. So the DAT meeting now is gonna be on a rotating venue. Can't remember where they finally decided to hold it in August. It might have been Midway.
I think so, yeah.
Township, but I'll confirm that a little bit closer to the date. So it went well. Actually, it was kind of nice to be able to see other municipalities, town hall, and be able to go on a little tour. So yeah, it was nice. It was a little bit of a drive. I was out in Solway Township, so it's just a little bit of a drive, but pleasant drive. Planning and zoning, and then of course, there was the variance meeting that was held last Wednesday, excuse me, and then finished up this evening. One thing that I will say is I'm working with city staff, and I'm trying to take in comments from city staff, from counselors, and from the public, and just how to run these meetings just a little bit smoother. As everybody knows, I want to hear from people, but it has to be conducted in a appropriate manner. And so we're just trying to work through some logistics to make sure that that happens. Sylvia, this is a great example of what we're going to do with this. So as we compile questions, concerns, and sometimes we can't say it right on the spot. Just like when you wrote your letter, you had some time to think about it. We would like to think about the appropriate response. And so the next meeting then is when I would like to respond to these questions. And so I hope that you'll be here for them. And if you're not,
You're taking the time to consider all the questions. Not
Yeah.
just quick answer and be done.
yeah, it's really hard because there's a lot of questions that only staff can answer, and staff is not here to be put on the spot. So we're just gonna give them a little bit of time, and the rest of us a little bit of time to respond appropriately. And so next meeting, we'll respond to this during like my mayor's update. And so we're just gonna try to get into a little bit of a rhythm of answering questions, allowing people to speak. And then we're gonna shake up the format just a little bit on how we conduct our meetings. So stay tuned. It might be a little rough at first, probably because I'll be running it and I'm always gotta second guess myself, but we'll get through it. And I think the end product, I think we'll have something a little bit better, something a little bit more formal. And the meeting run smoothly. I will say that now that we've kind of gone through the last few months of just allowing people to speak freely on their mind. Now we're gonna scale that back just a little bit. And I would like to get it to how it's supposed to be, where if you're going to speak, you have to be recognized by the chair. And so no more just speaking up. Please wait to be addressed. And if you don't, I'm gonna probably gavel you. And so I'll try to be kind and appropriate, but understand my purpose behind it is to get the meetings to run just a little bit more smoothly, the way that they're supposed to be. These meetings are to run city business. With that being said, it's still part of my DNA to hear from people, and you guys are our people, so still want to hear from you. All right, with that being said, we'll move on to, anybody have anything to add before I move on?
So the mayor talks, or that could be
Yes,
discussed.
thank you. June 2nd, thank you for the plug. June 2nd, I believe, is the next mayor talks. So please come here with your informal questions. Of course, this will be still a respectful time of give and take, but it'll be a little bit of a freer conversation that you guys can come and ask us questions. We'll have city staff that's able to make it and the council that's able to make it. Last time it was well received, and we will keep doing these as long as you guys would like us to.
And that's 6 o'clock, correct?
Yes, thank you. 6 p.m., June 2nd. Yeah, it's coming up really quick.
Bring a neighbor.
Yeah, bring a neighbor.
And cookies.
Everybody say that game at All right, we'll move on to new business. We have the utility design reimbursement agreement. Now, what we have in front of us is something that I think, some of us have been waiting for. We have been operating on a gentleman's type of agreement with Minnesota Power. We've been doing some design work for the utility extension. And, we went into that with just a little bit of uncertainty, trusting Minnesota Power would come through and pay for that design piece. But as I said, so far it's all been done on a gentleman's handshake. So now in front of us, we have a utility design reimbursement agreement. Once we agree or not agree, this will then go to Minnesota Power for their signature. From what I understand, it's not a surprise to them. They reviewed it, they just have not signed it. So we're gonna start the ball's in our court, so to speak. Tony, please add in what you think I need to address in this.
If you covered everything, it's a reimbursement agreement for the sewer and water extension to the potential Minnesota Power development.
Okay, when you say reimbursement agreement, does that mean literally we put the money out first and then they will pay us?
Yeah,
Okay, and that dollar amount is that the 229,000?
correct. That's the total amount. SEH has agreed to bill us quarterly for this,
Okay,
so just to make it easier for everybody, so I'm not having to invoice Minnesota Power monthly for invoice that we get from SEH.
okay.
Potentially.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, not everything's approved yet down there. They're still working through the whole process of airport approval, yes.
And what happens if the amount goes over the 229 that SEH is quoting us?
So that agreement is actually the next item on the agenda.
Right,
So, yeah, it's a lump sum agreement.
so they cannot increase it for any reason?
I think there is something noted in there for potential
I didn't notice it.
overruns.
Doesn't mean it wasn't there. It's 32.
Yeah, so the expense is not included in the lump sum. Following items involving expenditures made by consultants, employees, or professional consultants on behalf of the client shall be paid for as described in this agreement. Expense of overtime work requiring higher than regular rates if authorized in advance by the client. Other special expenses required in connection with the project. The cost of special consultants or technical services as required. The cost of sub-consultant services shall include actual expenditure plus 10% markup for the cost of administration and insurance. The only time I could see this coming into play is if for some reason the EDA funding that we're getting for the project decides they need something done in a shorter time frame where SEH would have to work overtime, yeah. In all the design agreements that we've had, we've never gotten over the lump sum amount between SEH and MSA, so.
Okay.
I don't know, do we have anything in the agreement that is got with that?
I didn't see anything. I didn't receive anything.
No, that's a good catch, Counselor Henry. Up to the community. It was the amount of 229,000.
It notes the supplemental agreement, which in that agreement, it notes the charges, but
Where's the supplemental? Oh, I see it. The costs associated with phase 3 are 229,000 as noted in the supplemental letter agreement.
So that's the next one, the SH phase.
Yeah, so it does say it there.
I believe Minnesota Power actually was questioning that as well when we first started discussing this. So I did reach out to Dan with SEH, just to kind of ask those questions too, like, do you foresee any overages? And his comment was, again, no, not usually, and then it would have to be agreed prior to, so. If SEH is asking us to agree, then I'd ask Minnesota Power to agree. Okay.
As a separate agreement at that time, if there is an overage.
Well, we would have to approve the overage.
We would have to
And
approve the
before
overage.
approving it, we want to get the approval from. There's no power.
Okay, so there's a stop in place. It sounds like that, we're
Yeah.
to protect
Mhm.
us and Minnesota Power too.
Correct, yes.
Okay. Any other further questions? If no further questions, I'm looking for a motion to, either approve or not approve the MP agreement.
I'll make a motion to approve the agreement with Minnesota Power.
Thank you. I hear a motion. Do I hear a second? Any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye. Oh, yes, thank you. Counselor, Hegstrom.
Aye.
Thank you. Counselor Hendrickson,
Aye.
Counselor Hein.
Aye.
Aye.
And I will be an aye as well. Thank you. Okay, next we have the actual SEH agreement. And we've already briefly spoke about this. We've looked at the supplemental. The fee for the phase 3 services presented matches up to the 229,000. Up for discussion, but we could approve this contingent on Minnesota Power actually signing the previous agreement. All good ideas don't come from me, they came from city staff. Don't thank the city staff for watching out for us. I would prefer someone else, yeah, we could still discuss, but I would prefer someone else make the motion. I just gave you the words to say.
I'll make a motion to approve the SEH phase 3 agreement contingent upon signing by Minnesota Power on the previous agreement.
Thank you, Counselor. So I have a motion. Do I have a second? I'll support. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Again, do the roll call. Counselor Hein, why don't you start us off this time? Aye. Counselor Brady?
Aye.
Counselor Hendrickson?
Aye.
And Counselor Hickstrom?
Aye.
And I will be an aye as well. That is passed. All right, next we have the Planning Commission application for Lisa Waltz. If, do you want to come to the mic? I can. Thank you. So the Planning Commission has already recommended your appointment to the council, and so now you come in front of the council. And so it's just kind of a repeat of what you've already done, but tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Lisa Walls. I live on the West Fisher Road. I have been in the community for about 20 2 years this summer. I work from home. I've been with the same company for 23 years. I'm currently a data configuration analyst. I just took a promotion to be a business analysis consultant, I think is what it's called now. I also have a pottery studio. I have no kids, I have cats. And I am excited to start getting more involved in it.
Thank you. Any questions from the council for Lisa?
I just want to say I've talked with Lisa a little bit since she started coming to meetings and I'm very impressed with research that she does on issues before she comes in to speak. And I think she would be a marvelous addition to the agency.
I could echo that. So look forward to that.
Love whole world to sleep. And he doesn't even realize we're all like, poor guy.
Right, well, I will echo what the council has already said. I think you'll compliment the remaining members on the planning and zoning commission. Just so, thank you. Thank you for giving us the rest of your life. We appreciate that.
I signed it away.
All appointments here are for life, or if you can't make it to the end of life, you have to find your own replacement. So it works out really nice for us. All right, we will move this to a motion to approve the application for Lisa Waltz for the planning commission. Ending term ending 12/31/2027 is the formal way to say forever.
Well, I'll make the motion to approve Lisa Waltz to the planning commission.
Thank you. I have a motion. Do I hear a second?
And we'll second.
Any further discussion? If not, we will start off with Counselor Klein again for roll call.
Aye.
Counselor Quaid,
Aye.
Counselor Hendrickson,
Aye.
Counselor Hagstrom,
Aye.
and I will be an aye as well. You notice I had difficulty changing from Hendrickson to Hagstrom. It trips my tongue each time. All right.
We all had ages.
Yes, they all end with H's. All right. Welcome. And thank you. Okay, do we have any unfinished business? In the meeting calendar, we're looking at June now, so June 2nd is the community talks with the mayor. That's here, 6 p.m. It's a Monday night. The 4th is the community club. That's at 6:30. That's here. The 9th is the council meeting here at City Hall, 6 p.m. The 15th, Father's Day, if you didn't know that. The 17th is planning and zoning here, 6 p.m. 18th, 6:30 p.m. is the Metropolitan Interstate Council meeting. The 19th is the Juneteenth observed, and I believe that city staff is closed that day. That is a holiday. The 23rd, 6 p.m. council meeting here. And then the 25th, 26th, and 27th is the LMC conference in Duluth. I presume all of the council that wishes to attend are signed up. Right, who's on the one?
Who's the?
I am.
I am.
And Mike,
Mike, well,
we get a first time attendee discount rate, so I signed you.
Okay.
All right.
perfect.
Counselor Hagstrom, did you hear that?
Yes, I did.
Okay, excellent. And then the 30th, 5 p.m. is WLSSD meeting. Are there any further additions to the calendar?
I don't think we've had anybody attend the WLSSD meeting in a long time. It's been years, I think. Normally it falls in the same, on the same night as the conference.
Yeah.
I made full of that.
Is that here?
I think it's down.
And their office.
Yeah, I think at their office.
27th Avenue West.
Yep.
Thank you.
Can I ask about the meeting on the 18th? Can someone explain what that is?
Come to the mic and.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And,
Yeah, I had seen a few things on the calendar and the one on the 18th, I think it's the 18th, because I don't have the calendar now.
That's
But
one
the
that the Metropolitan Interstate Council Committee is.
okay, and what is that?
It's the Duluth Superior area. Down as far as Esco, in those areas, everything transportation. From Port of Duluth and Superior. Airports. Highways. Bridges, highway, and then it's a committee that's put together to assist in funding and the need for funding for projects on both Wisconsin and the Minnesota side. One of the biggest things that's ever happened there is just been done recently with the rebuilding of Botany Bridge. So it's quite interesting. I worked in transportation my whole career and I know ports of Duluth and Superior quite well, all of the docks and the elevators. So it's a good fit for me. But it's a lot of big numbers, I can tell you. Those are numbers that are enormous, and these are normally, just requests for funding for projects. But it's a committee of about 25 or 30.
How often do they meet?
Monthly, usually monthly. There's a couple of months in the year that they don't meet. A lot of the Douglas County supervisor commissioners and the city of Superior, city of Duluth, Hermantown, Proctor. A bunch of the local leaders. It's an interesting one. Anybody can attend if you ever want to. See how the funding comes together for things like the one that is getting ready to wrap up, the can of worms and Duluth, that's been going on for years. I just hear tonight now they finally have a finished date that they're gonna try to make November 4th. Which always makes sense to me whenever you have big road projects like that. It's the Friday before deer season, then you finally finish them up.
Thank you.
Good.
If there's no further business, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment. So moved. Thank you, everybody.